Okay, thanks, John, for the introduction, and thanks to Transparency for having us. Haven't really had a chance to talk to a crowd this big, so it's kind of exciting. Vnomics operates a fuel efficiency network with smart contracted pay-for-performance for its drivers. And we believe that the efficiency techniques that we use on this network are broadly applicable to transportation. Right now, we're focused on fuel, but we believe that there's a future where smart processes are going to augment drivers with a flow of information to help them optimize the work that they do for their fleets, to optimize the work that the fleet does, and ultimately to improve the efficiency of freight movement from shippers to receivers. We'd like to take you through some live data from our network today to give you a better appreciation for how we do what we do. And we want you to keep in mind as we do that $100 billion a year is spent on big rig diesel fuel in the United States. And so there's a significant expenditure at play here, and we believe and we are demonstrating that our technology is making a meaningful impact in that particular cost for the fleets. Let's start at the top of the network for Vnomics over the last year. We've had over 23,000 drivers on the network, and we've logged over 14.5 million trips with those drivers. Most significantly, they've garnered over $33 million in savings versus their fleet's baseline. We find this very encouraging because these are some of the larger fleets in the United States are part of our customer base right now, and they are already demonstrating the viability of this technology. Certainly at the scale that we're operating right now, we're probably a couple orders of magnitude below the total market opportunity. So if we project out that $33 million, a couple orders of magnitude, we can see that there's multiple billion dollars of fuel savings at odds here, and we believe this technology is on a path to garner a big impact in that. Let's dig a little deeper. I want to show you two particular drivers on the network. One of them is operating in the Rocky Mountain region, and they're hauling grocery from warehouse to store. And then there's another driver on the East Coast that is performing LTL pickup and delivery activities in New Jersey and in around southern Pennsylvania. The first thing I want you to key into about the statistics for these drivers is that MPG is really a bad measure of performance for these drivers. We have two drivers that are operating in much different regions and under different activities, and they have roughly the same miles per gallon performance, but they have radically different efficiency. So Vnomics employs a smart learning model on each and every truck that is part of the network. That model is capable of not only calculating the actual fuel use, trip in and trip out for a truck, but it's also it also projects what the fuel use could be under optimal operating conditions. And this model then goes on and quantifies in a number of categorized areas where the difference between that actual and projected optimal efficiency are in terms of gallons of fuel use. And we provide feedback to the driver in real time if and when they need it in order to try to arrest that fuel use and improve the fuel economy. This information also is captured by the models trip by trip, and the network is aggregating all that information and populating dashboards and portals for the fleet to be used itself. Bob's flipped over now to what the driver sees. We provide them with a mobile application, and so this particular instance of the login is for that more highly efficient driver that was operating in the Rocky Mountain region. And you can see trip by trip, the driver is scoring well above their fleet's baseline performance, and everything's in the green. If we go over to the home screen, we can see that they've, for the month, current month to date, they have an efficiency up in the 98, 99% range, which we also saw in the previous presentation of information. And again, they're more than beating their fleet's baseline performance. Regardless of how good the driver is, we also give them feedback about where that remaining waste is in terms of what categories it's falling in, and then we provide them tips that they can use to dig deeper and continue to improve their efficiency over time. The other thing that I want to point your attention to is at the top, there's a feature that we've recently implemented where Vnomics has defined their own fuel token on the Ethereum blockchain network. And the Vnomics fuel token is set up such that one token is equal to 1 gallon of fuel saved. And so this particular driver has over 178 gallons of fuel saved over the course of the last month. And we're dutifully capturing trip by trip what their savings is on the blockchain, and then providing that information to them within their mobile application. If you will, we envision or are actually employing this in such a way that the mobile app becomes the driver's wallet on the blockchain network, and they can see their token balance over time, and they're able to cash out these tokens periodically to exchange the value. So there's three things that I really want to point out to have you take away from this whirlwind walkthrough that we've done of our technology. The first thing is this is being demonstrated today with, within our paying customer base that includes the top tier fleets in the United States. So the scale is small at this point, but we're excited about the prospect of scaling this out, and it's being proven right now, and so that's the next step. The other thing is we have a unique modeling capability that's resident on each of the trucks that is not only capturing actual but potential fuel economy, and that's rooted in this efficiency metric that we've been discussing. And third, we're excited about the prospect of blockchain and fuel tokens to be able to speed up the exchange of value across the network between the fleets and their drivers. So I want to thank you for your attention. Bob and I and Koki, another one of our colleagues, will be out in the booth at the breaks, and we look forward to talking to you more about our success to date and our plans going forward. Thank you.